Hope there's money. Yeah.
Yeah, I got friends that is always better to be seen than viewed. Yes, sir. That's all right. You might maybe you asleep, so they couldn't stand up.
Well, that'd be slamming the radio guy, Plyer.
Yeah.
Been a fun week?
I'm gonna throw something in about you drinking or something.
Mayor, who's
Joe asked you.
same thing? I may have to leave. I'm not going to pray for this tonight. Be praying. You want me to pray? I'm going to take it back to my office and I'm going to lift it up. Don't put your name on it. Look, this is just, and I can pray for you guys. As soon as you do it,
Long and hard. That's how you get
Michael hadn't made it. Michael made it in. That's his spot, isn't it?
What do you say, man?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. I blew right by you.
We'll call this meeting to order. If everyone will rise, Reverend Scott Knight, pastor at Cullendale Assembly of God Church, will give the invocation followed by the pledge.
If you guys just give me one moment, instead of trying to preach a prayer, if I can just address what I'm going to pray. So when I came in, I won't be long. I know you're like, oh God. And that's a prayer too, by the way. The point is, I was asking what I needed to do because I don't take anything of this lightly. And the scripture that came to me, whether you're Christian or not, it's fine. I think you can listen and it'll apply. When King Solomon came in as following his father David as king of Israel, he was overwhelmed by everything that God had done for him. And so he was seeking God on how does he lead this nation and this people. And on that night, it says, I'm going to read 2 Chronicles, on that night God appeared to Solomon and said to him, ask, what shall I give you? Well, that's a big question. I mean, I've never had God show up and ask me a question. But he shows up and he asks Solomon, he says, ask me, what shall I give you? And Solomon said to him, you have shown great mercy to my David, my father, and you may be king in his palace, in his place. Now, Lord God, let your promise to David, my father, be established, for you have made me king over a people like the dust of the earth in multitude. And forgive me, I do get emotional. His request was this: now give me wisdom and knowledge that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this great people of yours? And God said to Solomon, because this was in your heart and you've not asked for riches or wealth or honor or the life of your enemies, nor have you asked long life, but you've asked for wisdom and knowledge for yourself, that you may judge my people, over whom I have made you king. Wisdom and knowledge are granted to you, and not only that, I will give you riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had before you, nor thou have after you. I looked that up today, and I wanted to know what Solomon's net worth was, if it was compared today. Just in cash assets, cash, it was over $44 billion. Cash, not assets, cash. And so I sat here and I thought, you know what? I appreciate each and every one of you. We may not all agree on different things, but I appreciate each and every one of you. I believe God has placed each one of you here to help lead our city. And I'm going to pray for wisdom and knowledge over you. And you may ask, what's the difference? And I'm almost done. Knowledge is knowledge. It's knowing stuff. Wisdom is how we apply the knowledge. All of you are smart. I think all of you bring a lot to the table. But knowledge isn't enough. It's wisdom. So my challenge to all of us in this room tonight is, let's be wise in the knowledge that we have and lead this great city into the future. Father, we come before you and we thank you for your goodness and your mercy, your grace. Jesus, thank you for accepting the mission to come, to take all the punishment of this world. You took it. You came in. You took all the punishment so we wouldn't have to. You did not owe Satan a debt. No, that punishment was paid to God, because the wages of sin is death. Holy Spirit, I thank you for coming and bestowing wisdom. As the author of the book of James even wrote, he said, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives liberally to those who ask. I pray over our leaders. I pray over our city leaders, our management, everybody. I pray over them. Lord, work in them. Take the knowledge that you've given them, the training you've given them, and apply wisdom to make this city what you would have it to be. Bless those who love you and bring those who don't close to you. Lord, we thank you for your goodness and your mercy. Thank you for our mayor and these councilmen. Bless each one of them. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Join in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lindsay,
Here.
Winters, Askew,
Here.
McCoy, Moore,
Here.
Rennick,
Here.
Castleberry,
Here.
Argid, Mayor,
here.
One more on that sheet of paper. He's going to take it back there so he can pray for it. Use it that way. One more.
We'll move to the approval of minutes of the regular scheduled meeting from July 9th. We have a motion to approve. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the special called meeting of July the 11th.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Move to the financial report. Do we have a second?
I'll second so we can talk about it.
Okay. Discussion?
Yeah. I know we're looking at revenues and expenditures, but on page 1 of 10, on the license and permits, 42,700. I'm looking at that 886.3%. That's what we gained.
500 was budgeted and we collected $4,500 out of that.
So that's a good thing being over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And second page, 2 of 10 on the insurance recoveries, 175.5%.
Because we brought in
We recovered that.
almost $4,000 more than we thought we would.
So I just wanted to be clear. And on page 6 of 10, under the police department, line item 52,660, repairs and maintenance for the building, 898.6. What was that big
That
expenditure?
is, I believe, the generator and installing it.
And also, Public Works, on 8 of 10. Line items 53,240, 53,260. Janitorial supplies and clothing and uniform. Janitorial supplies, 115.3. Clothing 151, and I was looking at the other janitorial supplies and like administration and different ones, and they wasn't as high. I just wanted to know what we doing a little different.
That would be a question for Public Works.
I know like the tech center you mentioned, well, you didn't mention, but we was contracting that out, and up here for us, not janitorial service, but for us cleaning the bathrooms and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that is the tech center. The clothing and uniforms, it's still, I believe, part of the contract that has the $26,000 buyout. And prices have also gone up on a lot of the stuff lately.
Okay.
But to get exact, we would need to talk to Daryl.
Did you want him to come answer?
Well, I've got, as I've had before, several issues here. Let me just say the one that kind of glares out to me on this July report is we've got on page 1 in the intergovernmental revenue, we've got transfers from street fund at 43,550, and transfers from solid waste at 43,950. These are funds that are supposed to come into the general fund from the street and solid waste. The street and solid waste don't show any disbursements coming to general fund. Something's out of whack to me.
Let me ask a question real quick. This accounting firm we was looking into,
They're here tonight.
so, but they hadn't started.
No,
They haven't, okay, okay.
they're going to
Okay.
talk to y'all tonight, and I would have to approve that.
Okay. So what Ellie is talking about is in-house.
Yes.
All right.
And you're on what page, what line items?
Well, it's
Page one or
page
two.
1 of the general fund down in intergovernmental revenue, showing that we've received these collections. Actually, the entries were in June last month.
What line item is it?
43,550 and 43,950. It showed the entries were made in June, but there's no corresponding expense out of those other funds showing that it got transferred to the general fund.
My turn.
So who does that? Ms. Donna, you do that, or the treasurer? What's the young
She's
lady
the
name?
interim treasurer. Kayla?
Yeah.
Kayla's the bookkeeper, and she's doing an awful lot right now. And we're both doing stuff that there are no instructions in the
Can you
city.
speak up a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Ellie caught that one that I had. I was concerned about that. Didn't see a follow-up on it. I have several bills. One off the head, I know we talked about department heads being able to itemize. You know, I'm getting this report and it tells me antifreeze, oil, gas. And I asked if we could itemize that. And they told me they could. This was over a year ago, but we're still getting the same things. It's a totality of all of that.
I sent out a couple of things with itemized checks, and nobody ever said anything one way or the other.
You sent me one?
When I email everybody.
Well, I didn't get it. Because this is something I've been asking for about 2 years. And I hope you understand why I'm asking. If there's a hard winter, we might use a lot of antifreeze and other things. But I don't want to see an increase in $5,000, $10,000 in antifreeze and we had a warm winter. Also gasoline and oil. I'm just trying to itemize what we, and every department is doing it. It's not just Public Works. And I would think you would want to do that, to know your usage. And I thought we had a good agreement a long time ago that we would try to do that. Even some of your department heads said they would, but I haven't seen any change in it.
Would you like her to print a hard copy of what she emailed out?
Been requesting it for a long time now.
That's a
I
yes.
just need to know how it's itemized. I know we was on a temporary schedule with our circuit clerk. You and the circuit clerk had an agreement of, I believe it was $500 a week on the treasurer's duties. Yeah, city clerk. I'm sorry, I call it circuit clerk, city clerk. But we had that, and I was under understanding this was gonna be a temporary fix.
Yes.
But we've been off into this now, and I'm up to $14,000. So where are we at with that?
The accounting firm
They're
that
gonna solve that problem?
they're going to present to you tonight, and the council can decide if they would like to accept their offer.
So we're not looking for a treasurer?
We haven't had any applications that are qualified.
So we move into a firm because we don't have a qualified applicant.
We advertise for both. We discussed that when we opened that up, that we would advertise for an accounting firm and for a treasurer to see what kind of applications we got in. This was the only accounting firm that did send in a proposal,
Okay.
and we sent you all that information. Did you get that email?
Yes, I got that email.
Okay. And they will present during the mayor's report in just a little bit.
I want to piggyback off of Alderman Moore's question. So did we have any treasurers to apply?
We had a person that applied that did not have accounting background.
So, if that treasurer's position is being put in the paper and so forth, has it been revised with more, or is it the same as it was the last treasurer? What I mean is, the qualifications that were necessary with the last treasurer, are they the same, or have they been upgraded and revised with more qualifications?
2011, when we split the treasurer's clerk position, in our ordinance, it specifies what the qualifications of the treasurer are, and accounting degree, bachelor's accounting degree, finance, or business degree. It doesn't really specify much more than that, if I remember correctly, but it is in the ordinance when we split the two positions in 2011. So, and it hasn't been upgraded since.
I wasn't finished, but if y'all, okay. The animal control. Do we have an animal control officer now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do we get in touch with them? I got dogs everywhere.
You call the police department.
Okay. Well, I've got constituents been calling, but they're not getting any response.
Okay.
All right before here, right o'clock,
Trying to talk to them again.
Three cases, and she was on a call at 6:30.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions on the financials?
Yes, I do. I'm going. That was part of it. I see a lot of money spent, but I don't see nothing done. Parks and Rec, 9 of 10, general fund. I was looking into the repair and maintenance of the buildings, recreation supplies, chemicals, operating supplies, parts for vehicles. Do we have designated vehicles assigned to the pool, park and rec? I just see a bunch of new vehicles down. I'm just trying to find out how do we separate them, because they're in the budgets, but
I couldn't hear you back there. It's her vehicles.
in the Parks and Rec, you got Parks and Rec pool and splash pad.
Yes.
And there is a line item there for repair parts and vehicles.
Yeah, parts and repair vehicles there.
Yes, but that's a zero budget line item.
I understand that.
Yes.
But I'm asking, are there vehicles?
Not in the pool section, no.
Okay.
And the one above it in 140 is where the parks vehicles are at. The next section up. Yes.
Okay, so we are just listing it as far as the pool and splash pad?
Yes.
So we don't have any vehicles
No, there's no
assigned to that?
vehicles assigned to that,
Okay.
that section.
Well, we all scratch that out. Now, in the next one, it also included the cemeteries. Do we have vehicles assigned?
Yes, that's in the first section there.
In the first
140.
section.
That's where all the parks vehicles are at.
They are specific.
Yes.
Do you have a list of how many we have?
Not only, but I do have a list on my software.
Okay, so you,
Every department has specific vehicles assigned to
understand.
that department.
but do they have a list of how many vehicles they have? And what, I'll tell you what I'm getting at. We're buying so many vehicles. I'm wondering, what are we doing with them and who we assigning them to?
Well,
Because my biggest complaint in my constituency is why are we buying so many trucks? We don't have playground equipment in the parks. There are other things that we think should be a little prioritized. And I gotta ask you that question.
whenever I purchase a vehicle, it's because we just need it. We have to replace the vehicle.
I'm sure you was gonna tell me that.
Right now, I've got a 95 and a 96 model that are down. That's the
Okay.
parts vehicles later on. And actually, Parks right now is running one of Chief Covington's old Durangos right now to get by. That I took out of mothballs just to get them through.
Yeah, that's the red one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do see some new vehicles going around Camden.
A lot of
A lot of new vehicles, and I was wondering myself what department they in.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I seen about 4 or 5 I counted today.
They're spread out through all the departments.
That's air department, police department, all the way down.
Oh, I don't count the police department.
Just public works.
I just do public
And the
works.
public works take care of the cemeteries, pool,
Streets,
streets.
garage, sanitation. Yes.
Okay. All right, I got one more for you here. No, it's not gonna be yours, I'm sorry.
All right.
All right. I guess this is for the mayor and Michael Fry here. Page 10 of 10, general fund. It's under the non-departmental other expense. Line item 5241-1. That's that solar field.
Yes, sir.
Where are we at with that? The last discussion we had, I believe it was about a year ago, we should have been reaching the zenith point of either paying for it, letting them run it, or we take it over. Am I right? Oh, yes, we had that discussion right in here.
Well, I just want to take it back over.
No, I said a possibility, because I asked the gentleman,
Right.
I said, why is it that we can't have employees run it? It's no big deal to run a power plant, but we have to train the people to do it, but we're paying them to run it, and we're not getting a lot of benefit out of it. Mr. Askew asked a question about the payback on it. We never got it. He said he was coming back, and he hasn't been back. But he was supposed to show us the savings and the payback we got from it.
We
I
can
haven't
tell
seen
you
it.
what the payback was last month.
You told me what?
We can tell you what the payback was for
You know how
last
long
month.
we've been running that solar field? They've been running that solar field. Why can't we get a payback on it?
Mr. Vaughn and I looked at it and it was $6 and what?
18 cents. By the time the energy that goes into it, that is put back out, and what we pay for the solar field pretty much equals out, Mr. Moore. I get the bill every month from the solar company, and it's usually around 6:18 to 6:31.
And I'm all for solar energy, but I just didn't like the dynamics the way it was explained here. And I got 2 cents worth of power plants. And I didn't see the payback. That's why I didn't vote for it. But I could see for us investing in something, in what you call a purchase or buy to own. And then we train our people, just like we do the fire department or anybody else, and run the power plant. You got cities run their own power plants. But we in a no-win situation here.
The next time you're at the city hall, stop in, I'll pull that for you, just so you can see it as well.
Well, at that rate, I don't really need to see it. We won't gain anything.
Pretty much breaking even on it.
We won't break even.
Because it's time maintenance and repairs and all that in maybe 15, 20 years.
That's the purpose of having it in the house, where you do your own maintenance and your own. The other one is just, I think we're gonna talk about it, autos and trucks, and I think it's gonna be a general talk about that. We had street surface supplies. I had one that came in, and I was wondering, we bought some. Let me move on. That's not a part of the budget, but it's gonna come up. Okay.
Was that all the questions?
Well, that's all I have for now. I have other questions about other things, but we're talking about the budget.
But budget, that's for the financials. Is there any other discussion? All in favor of accepting the financial report as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
I oppose.
Do you need a show of hands? Okay. Those for, please raise your hands. Those against? Okay. We will move to audience participation. In the audience participation, you will come to the podium, state your name, your address. You will have 3 minutes to speak.
First on the list is Mr. James Johnson.
My name is James L. Johnson, Senior. I live 416 Madison, and I've been living in Camden most of my life. On March the 4th of this year, I had an emergency in my house, and I just wanted to say that I'm 67 years old. I've never been that sick in my life, and they had to call 911 and Camden Fire Department, and I want to recognize these two guys. I never got a chance to thank them or anything because and I also want to thank my neighbor, Miss Amy Langley Johnson. It's no relation. But guys, this was a serious matter. My temperature was 105.9. 105.9. They can attest to this when they got there. I was diagnosed with septic pneumonia. And the only reason I'm here today is because of these guys' quick response. Dr. Dan Martin is retired now. And he told me in the emergency room that, James, if you hadn't have got here in time, that I would have had death or permanent nerve damage. Permanent, guys. Somebody my age with 105.9, can you imagine? I was boiling inside my organs. And these guys, quick response, like I said. And this is my first time being able to look at them.
Good job.
And I just want to say, thank God and thank Camden Fire Department response team.
Brian Smith.
Good evening to our mayor and city council. I'm Brian Smith, superintendent of F&H Junk Removal and Lawn Care LLC. I'm here on behalf as the spokesman for our CEO, Margaret Lee Smith of F&H, to speak on community matters that affect us as a whole as a community. I want to start with our disposal and our landfill. Landfill has been openly lately, and we appreciate the cooperation with the public works and the landfill being open. But however, when we have inclement weather, that landfill shuts down for days to weeks and months. And then we're going up on prices by the ton. As a business, we have to go up. We're being told by numerous people, well, if it's shut down, go to Smackover. We don't want to bring business to Smackover. We want to keep business right here in Camden, and we want to stop contractors from renting a dumpster so we can bring money, because we are the only and #1 junk removal service in South Arkansas. I'll also make a motion for our landfill to go back like it was 30 years ago, burying the trash at the landfill so we can stop bringing from Camden to Smackover. That would cut costs. Going into the second topic is our budget. I agree with one of our councilmen, Mr. Askew, we were spending too much on vehicles and unnecessary equipment. My CEO right there, and I'm a superintendent, there's times I want a new truck and a front end loader, but I have to make do with what I have and the mechanic skills I've learned. Not that my dad taught me, but I've learned I've had to fix my equipment and make the best of it. So I'm asking, can we take a look at this budget? Not saying we necessarily do or we don't, but can we prioritize in our budget? And last thing I want to bring up is the children play sign on North Street. We've got too much traffic, people going in and out and zooming. That is dangerous, and a lot of the people don't even live there, so I'm concerned about our children in our neighborhood. And I'm also concerned about many businesses that have been cited with a code violation. Are we working along with each and every small business? Because whether they have the money or not, I want to see us work with these businesses to keep being in business so Camden can grow. And that's all I have to bring to the table. I appreciate everyone hearing me out. Thank you.
Next is Mike Sherman.
Mike Sherman, 240 Adams. I'm here representing the Sportsplex of Camden. I know our contract's through November, but I didn't want to wait till November to come and ask and get y'all thinking about renewing our contract. We had it for 1 year. 2 years ago, we had 9 teams out there. Year before last, we had 19. This last season, we had 26. We had 2 very successful tournaments. If you don't believe me, ask any of the restaurants that were here and the hotels, and we had a lot of kids here, a lot of T-ballers and 9-year-olds. Would like to see us extend the contract, try and get maybe 10 years, something that makes sense for us to get equipment. We did not just do baseball and softball this year, we're doing soccer. We had a large amount of people come forward and say they wanted to play fall baseball and softball, so we've already started sign-ups on that. What else? We also are looking to do something to where we, as a group, can do more things in the other parks. We're helping with kickball over at Ivor Clark. We chalk the fields. We're just helping as an organization. We're going over and chalking the fields. We're helping with mowing. We've chalked the fields at Carnes Park for the co-ed softball. There's 12 co-ed softball teams playing this year, 12. So they're playing at both parks. So we're trying to help with that also. Just want to put it out there that we're ready to start talking about it, because I don't want to get like we did last year and be late on getting our sign-ups out there, because I really feel like we lost a lot of kids by not signing up till the end of January. Thank you.
Got a question.
Yes.
So right now, we done a year contract?
Yes,
You guys,
for this year.
and you looking to, what you wanna go 10?
I'd like to go 10. I mean, that makes sense for us to buy a mower, to buy some things to say we're invested in what's out there also. This year, the city helped us with the mowing. We did some mowing, some weeding, but the city did quite a bit.
And that contract is up in November?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's for the facility, right? That's what you're talking about, for the facility?
Yes, for the Fairview complex is where we're playing, but I'm not asking for a contract for Carnes or Ivor Clark. That's not what we're doing. I'm just saying that as a group, we're trying to get sports going in the community, period. Whether it's adults, kids, we're trying to help where we can.
Anita McElfresh?
Hi, my name is Anita McElfresh. I live at 2810 Hawthorne Street here in Camden. My issue, I really do not want to bring it here tonight. I think it's a private issue that needs to be handled amongst the council. But since I can't get any help with the authority in this town, they pick and choose who they want to help. I have a false police report. I have a video proof of this done by Captain Parker. Courtney Parker, I have a video of her witnessing an incident where Lieutenant Moore was thrown accidentally on my back. Now, false accusations were made on me, said that I refused a drug test that I did not refuse. I was a city employee, had been a city employee and foreman of this city. I was done so wrong and assaulted by the police, lied on. I've got proof of it. I've got the parent report. It doesn't even state anything that happened in the police report. Now, I'd like justice to be done. And it also led to me being assaulted in September by the police. Now, this all went to court. I was done unfairly in court in September. I was also assaulted by that woman right there, Miss Canada, in September. Had to be removed by the Camden Police Department by ambulance. I have also filed complaints with the City of Camden and the Camden Police Department on this issue. Nothing has been done about it. Now, I'd like something to be done. I've been trying to see you in your office. Now, I've sent more. The video proof. I've sent the signatures of both Lieutenant Moore and Captain Parker on the report where this incident happened. Now, I've had to have surgery to repair my back. I've had 2 rods and 4 screws. I cannot no longer physically do my jobs. I lost all my jobs behind lies, behind the then city director, who wanted me out of the way because I had a back injury prior to that injury that he did not want to face, that happened at work. Now, false police reports were made. How many other false police reports were made in this town on other people, not just me, that might be sitting right now behind bars that will never see the light of day because of false police reports? And I'd like for something to be done about it. You can take me to court on this issue if you'd like. I'd really like for you to. I've got my proof. I've got all my medical records. I was not on drugs. My drug screens are all clean. This town is not equipped to handle patients who are mentally incapable of comprehending anything, especially when they may have been drugged. At work, at home, by anybody. Y'all, we're living in a city or in a place in this world today where you have to watch your food and your drink no matter where you go. People might not like you and want you out of the way.
Ms.
Watch
McElfresh.
your backs.
Your 3
Can I ask
minutes.
her a question? Am I privy to those reports?
Yes.
I'd like
Yes,
to get
sir. Yes, sir. And
So
I
you have a
given.
video.
Yes, sir. You can go on YouTube, Anita Jane McElfresh, and you can see 2 videos. You can see Captain Parker in this video, and you can see her in the corner of this video walk out and witness Officer Davis throw me to the ground. I was not armed, I was not dangerous, I was loud, confused, and angry. Lieutenant Moore accidentally, by pushing on me, fell on top of me. Now, I was injured. My L4 was shoved into 8 millimeters. Now, it was already at 4.
Okay,
Prior to this.
he's got the information. Here to
Okay.
go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Maybe you could too. Julian Lott.
Thank you. As citizens of this great city, we are the stewards of public trust, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure that our city's resources are managed with integrity, its own.
Who is he and where does he live?
My name is Julian Lott, and I reside at 412 Arkansas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Can I start again? Thank you. Then at 3 minutes again, I'll be ready. Okay? All right. All right, thank you. All right, as citizens of this great city, we are stewards of the public trust, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure that our city's resources are managed with integrity, transparency, and fairness. Recently, concerns have surfaced regarding the handling of city finances, and it's prompting an urgent need for a forensic audit. This audit is not only necessary, but essential to restore confidence in our local government and ensure that the decisions made with our tax dollars are in the best interest of all citizens. Over the years, and recently, I learned that checks have been written and signed under the present, my signature was used under present administration, and it raised questions about the transparency and oversight of these transactions. I believe that a forensic audit will allow us to examine these financial activities in detail, identifying any discrepancies and ensuring that public funds have been used appropriately. It is not just about looking backward, but about setting a standard for the future, where accountability is not optional, but mandatory. As we move forward, it is crucial that the bidding process for city projects is conducted in a manner that offers equal opportunity for all of our citizens. Our local businesses, entrepreneurs, and contractors should have a fair chance to compete for city projects free from bias and favoritism. This is not just good governance, it's common sense. And when everyone has a seat at the table, our city thrives and the benefits are shared by all. Additionally, the practice of loaning city-owned dumpsters to private citizens must come to an end. City resources should be allocated for public use, benefiting the community as a whole rather than serving individual interests. And this is a matter of principle and fairness, and our public assets should not be used to advantage a few at the expense of the many. Furthermore, city resources should not be used to clean private properties, whether for business owners or for personal friends. And the use of public funds and assets for private gain undermines the trust we place in our local government. This is a slippery slope that leads to cronyism and corruption, eroding the very foundations of our community. Rules and guardrails are not just bureaucratic red tape. They are essential safeguards that protect us from ourselves. They ensure that our actions are guided by fairness, justice, and the greater good. Without them, we risk falling into a system where favoritism and personal gain overshadow the needs of our community. It is time to take the stand for transparency, accountability, and fairness, and let us demand a forensic audit for our city finances, insist on an equitable bidding process, and uphold the principle that the city stands for and for the resources that are for the public, not for private interests. And by doing so, we will strengthen our community, rebuild trust in our local government, and pave the way for a future where every citizen has a fair and equal chance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next.
Roy Wesley.
Superintendent Wesley. Okay.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, everyone here this evening. It is definitely
Address, please.
recognized Roy Wesley, 205 Harding Avenue, Camden, Arkansas. We are definitely having a lot of confusion going on in our community. A lot of things are happening, and we just are concerned citizens trying to find out or at least get information. There's been some shootings in our housing authorities, things that we hear about but are never mentioned to us. And sometimes we think that a public acknowledgement would be a great thing for us to hear because we're concerned in our own neighborhoods why these things are happening. If there's any evidence that you know anything, we would like to know as well so that we can prevent those things from happening in our own neighborhood. Just a concerned issue. As Mr. Lott was saying, we need transparency in a lot of things. And it would help our community, it would help our city, it would help so much in our own accountability. So we are very much interested in that. And on the shootings, we just think that it should be addressed. And if there's something that we should know, we would like to know. On another note I wanted to address tonight, we just lost a very high financial citizen in Officer Buckshot Smith. Seemed like he's still sitting over there. And we just believe that we should try our best to recognize him in our city. Amen. So I believe that we should start maybe to put a street in his honor and recognize him because there was nobody like Officer Smith. I believe I knew him practically all my life. And from the time that I tried to sneak into Ivy Clark Park and he caught me. So he meant a lot to me. Yes, sir. And it means a lot to people in the community. Amen. My suggestion would be Adams Street, the street that's coming straight downtown. Okay. And that would be great from St. Paul to downtown, if we could honor him in that capacity. He was there for so many of us. There's not places in Arkansas, even away from Camden, that he is known. And they honored him greatly in his homegoing celebration. So that is something I would take in consideration, that we would look to. I know that there are going to be challenges that we have to take to do that, but I would like the city to be on one accord with that. Amen. So, and I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The question is not to you, it's to you, to the mayor. I know it's probably things you can't talk about for the investigation for us to shoot and stuff like that, but like you said, transparency, and you all did meet with the housing authority, right?
Yes, I've got that in my mayor's report.
Okay, that's in your mayor's report. You're gonna let the people, okay.
Now, about the shootings, the chief would have to address that.
Yeah, but you will let them know about the meeting.
Yes.
And what we're doing to go forward.
Yes, we would love to know what, if we can help in the housing authority or anybody come by, check, talk, it would be mean a lot to us. Just have an understanding that we're involved. We care about the city just as much as you do.
Yes, sir.
And so we just want to be able to help and make it better.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You said some of that would be in your mayor's report coming
Yes,
up. Yeah, my question is, will there be something in that mayor's report about the ABMA? I got some information from the Arkansas Black Mayors Association that was very concerning to me. And I think I have to ask you that question.
Okay.
Concerning the flood zones and everything.
We had that last meeting here, and I haven't heard anything from them since then.
Well, they had a website we go to, and they tell us what's going on, and the understanding I'm getting that a decision was already made here. I could be wrong, that's why I'm asking.
No?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna apologize in advance for this. I think it's Randy Summers on Cherokee.
Sanders.
Sanders. Sorry about that.
I'm Randy Sanders. I live at 2810 Cherokee here in Camden, and I'm not representing anybody but myself. But I want to, here lately in our neighborhood, we've had a lot of complaints, mainly a bunch of people whining on Facebook about the speeders on Cherokee Street. And so apparently the solution to that is to put a bunch of four-way stops all over the place. This is a bad idea. It's a bad idea, and I don't think it's been well thought out. About Monday morning a week ago, I watched the police out there. They stopped somebody speeding, and the real effect of that was not whether they got a ticket or a warning or they talked about the weather, was the 8 or 10 other cars that went by while those blue lights were flashing, and every one of them slowed down. Every one of them. And so if we had the police out there, wouldn't have to be out there all day, every day, 2-3 hours a week, stop a few people. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if I'm one of the ones that gets a ticket, I'll grumble a little bit and I'll pay it and slow down. Perhaps disparage the cop's parentage, but that's just me. But anyway, I just think all these, I think we're trading 2 or 3 hours of police time out there in up and down Cherokee and Osage for a 168-hour pain in my neck with a four-way stop every time you turn around. I just think it's a bad idea. I think it needs to be rethought and put a little forethought into it. And by the way, to the police, there's a red Audi and a white Tahoe that come down from Cherokee Street about 6:30 in the morning. So, I kind of got. So if any of y'all driving a red Tahoe or a red Audi, you're part of the problem. So anyway, so and that's it. Yeah.
Good job.
So I have nothing else to say. Appreciate your time. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Larry Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Larry Mitchell, 649 Magnolia Road here in Camden. I have a couple of questions, but one of my questions, my major question I was going to ask you all this afternoon have already been taken care of while we come in here. But my question I want to ask, where are we at with this fiber optic here in Camden? Can anybody tell me?
As far as the fiber optic, I think you and I discussed it a little bit, Mr. Mitchell. Since it's run through Washita Electric, they're going to cover most all the county and Washita Electric first. That's who it's through. Once that's done, then they will start trying to pick up energy. Now they have picked up, I think, the hospitals, I think come through your city hall, and some of the businesses along their main route as they come through. But
I live right across from the hospital.
Yeah. And I know there's a box not too far from me. Yes, sir. And I have talked to him about it, but I have not gotten a response. I have a meeting coming up with them again in a couple of weeks, I think. And we'll bring that issue back up to them and see if I can't get them nailed down on an answer for you. But the overall answer is they cover Washita Electric first, because that's who they're doing.
Okay,
So,
all right.
But yes, sir, I will try to get clarity when I speak with them.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And as I take my seat, I just want to commend my alderman, Mr. Askew, and Mr. Earl with Public Work. I asked them to do something in my neighborhood, and they did. I just want to stand here and say thank you. Amen.
Sandra Lee.
Sandra Lee, 603 Texas Street, Camden, Zone 3. So I listened and I have kind of gotten some of the answers, and I want to just follow back on even what Lindsay was saying, that it's a lot of stuff going on as far as the finances that we don't have no recognition of. And so I was wondering, where are we with our financials? Do we have it set up now where we know where our money is going? And so then a lot of the concern was like the audits that was to take place. Now, I don't know if the audit took place or not, but apparently it's still some things that's not being, coming to the forefront. And that's why, even I heard a gentleman say something about the forensic audit. And I was like, can we even have a meeting to say, to say yay or nay to, try to see if we can go there with you all? And then another thing, I was listening about you all was had a position open for the treasurer, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
And that y'all are paying somebody right now too. And so I was just sitting there wondering, do the lady or the man, whoever it is, do they have the accountant, background to hold the position now? Because if we can pay somebody to temporarily sit into a position and make money, why are we pushing, somebody got to have so many things to get the job, and we're paying somebody else to do it and don't have no background, probably not even college educated. And then another thing is, as far as the question that was a concern about the vehicles. And so my question is to Mr. Earl, okay, so, I guess I have to stay here, but it's in that department, city, so Public Works. So, what are the different positions, what are the different places, and how many trucks or vehicles do each one of them have? What are the different departments, and how many trucks have been issued to them right now? That's what I'd like to know. If y'all can answer that before my 18 seconds.
Yeah. Can she come back up? I don't have no question for you. I just got a statement to make to the mayor and the council. This just me, this how I feel. This young lady, Mr. Lott, and we've heard it over the last couple of months about a forensic audit. It might be something we need to look into. I mean, the citizens are steady coming, and they steady asking. We work for them. And so we might need to get the ball rolling to see what it takes to have a forensic audit and how many years we want to go back. But if that's what the citizens is asking, it might be something we need to look into. Alderman Moore mentioned it as well. Just wanted to address that while you were standing there.
Yeah, because I see a lot of the aldermen that's sitting right here at the circle is even wondering where the money is going to. So.
Maybe I see where you got this CPA firm that's gonna be talking today.
They are in just a little bit.
Well, maybe we could find out whether they qualified or whoever gonna be qualified. If you get anybody else to come in and bid on this here, besides them, I don't know whether they're the only one, but they could give us an explanation explaining a forensic audit if they can, to find out what we need to do to go forward.
Is that all, Donna?
No, next is Bishop Arnold.
Bishop Arnold, 518 Sharp Avenue. Honorable Mayor Young and members of the City Council, as a taxpayer citizen in this city, I am deeply concerned about the spending priorities of the fiscal responsibility of this administration and the Alderman Board. Here we are in August, and yet we cannot reconcile city finances, but we keep bringing up high-cost spending items as everything is out of order. How can you vote on a proposed resolution to purchase new trucks when the City of Camden has bigger problems and we do not even know if we are working in a balanced budget? We as citizens uphold our end of bargaining and paying taxes. Why is it not there transparency, accountability for fiscal responsibility to our city government? Not only that, why hasn't a resolution been put forth calling forth a freeze on non-essential spending with the city's finances are in order? Because right now they are out of order. Finally, I completely understand department needs equipment to provide services, and I don't want to hurt any local businesses. But to do designated departments really need the trucks, especially $70,000 worth? I don't think so. So I ask you again, as a taxpayer citizen, do not vote, and I'm gonna watch, and I want every citizen that's here right now, watch how your aldermen vote. Watch how they vote. That's the main important thing. Watch how they vote. If it's not supposed to be passed, then don't pass it. We are already in a bind. We don't even know what's going on in this city right now. If I drove up to my church, and I respect this pastor for what you said something about Solomon. I know Solomon too. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We're not getting that here. We can pray for it, but we're not getting it. Because if we was getting it, we would be able to have understanding of our financial records right now. We would be able to know what's going on. Most of the times when we ask questions, they look at you like you're looking at me, Mayor. And I'm going to say what I'm going to say, because as a taxpaying citizen, time is out. And I understand, and I've seen the reports, I've seen stuff, and I'm tired. Because if I drove up to my church in a Lamborghini and the rest of my members driving whatever, they're going to start asking me questions. So guess what? I got some questions that I'm going to be asking.
Jacoby Barker, 2365 Country Club Road. I'm here today to address and discuss my concerns of our city's finances. City Council, why haven't you approved the city's finances for the past 4 months and yet haven't meeting to fix them? Me and everybody in this room, everybody that's not here, and everybody that's in the next life, we demand without question, we demand a forensic audit, outside forensic audit, to issue this address. Many times this has been mentioned to you guys, but it hasn't been a consistent topic. Also, you have hired an uncertified police chief who has also said that we do not need to be concerned about the recent crimes going on in the city. And to me, I feel like as citizens, we should be reassured about our safety. There's been a lot of murders every week from these past few weeks going on. It's been too many murders. And Mayor Young, you have yet to address this situation. You have failed to make a single statement publicly addressing these murders, addressing what's been going on. And I feel like the citizens are asking questions, they're not being reassured. They don't have any confidence in you or your city council. How can we call this a city when you and the people that we have chosen are not doing the requirements or not meeting the requirements that you have been given? That's all. It's unacceptable, and Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Thank you.
Julie Brown.
Julie Brown, 42 Arkansas. I'm coming for tomorrow. We're having what we call a clap up with Impact Camden. What we're doing, we're inviting the community out to come to the schools. You can come to any school that you like and welcome our children back in. This is our second year doing this. I didn't see very many participation from our city council last time I asked for you all to come, so I'm gonna come back into the altar again to ask you guys to please show up at our schools if you can. I understand that some of you all do work, however, some of you all don't. And I've been in the community for a minute now, and I don't see a lot of community aldermen at events that we're having here. So I'm asking, as aldermen, if you will participate tomorrow if you can. If you can't, send your wife, send your cousins, send your grandchildren. Send somebody to represent at any school in Camden Fairview School District. Also, we ask you to bring affirmation cards. You can make poster boards. It's whatever you like, but it's for the community. And if we're gonna be unified and it's gonna be for the community, I want to see some aldermen in the community when things are going on, not just for Impact Camden and just not for Plant a Seed. So, therefore, that's my plea to you all to start participating in things that go on in the community, whether you know about it, if you hear about it, do something. Mayor Young, I'm asking you on tomorrow, if you're not busy, to report to one of the schools of your choice, if you are there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the citizen of Camden, I'm looking for you guys tomorrow. At any school, just show up. There will be facilitators there. Just sign in because we have to show proof that who was on the campus of the school. So if they ask you to sign in, I don't want to sign in, please do, because it helps us to get back into the schools. Thank you so much.
Okay, we will move to the mayor's report. As I said, we do have Turner, Rodgers, Manning, and Plyer with us tonight. Mr. Blake Rodgers and Mark Manning. Correct?
Mark's not here tonight. Jake Plyer and Blake Rodgers.
Okay. That was the names they given me when I called the office today. So if you would mind stepping up, the aldermen do have a copy of the proposal.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jake Plyer. I'm one of the partners at Turner, Rodgers, Manning, Plyer. Blake Rodgers, one of the other partners, is also here. Just to give you a little brief background about our firm, we've been in business over 65 years. We have an office in Arkadelphia. A few years ago, we bought out of practice and opened an office in Magnolia. We've got 18 employees. We've got 8 accountants. We have several other accounting, payroll clerks, and administrative staff. We do a lot of tax work, accounting, payroll, other professional services. We do audit work. We work with approximately 45 to 50 government entities mainly throughout South Arkansas. We were contacted a few months, 2 or 3 months ago, about maybe presenting a bid to provide accounting services for the city. We met with the mayor, with Donna and Kayla, went over some questions, what services you were looking for, sort of the logistics of that. We came back with a proposal, which we sent in to you. Had some questions about that. We met again with Donna and Kayla, went over some of those questions and concerns and some more of the logistics, and then sent in a revised proposal about a month ago, I guess. We were asked to come tonight to answer any questions that the council might have related to that proposal.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So, we're looking at $5,835 a month. That's what's described in attachment 1, but you're saying that you'll do it for $52.50?
Basically, we're estimating it's going to take about $58.35 worth of our time at our billable rates. We're basically discounting it about 10%, saying we're not going to charge you more than the $52.50.
Okay. And I looked over this, and that's taking care of payroll and everything, right?
We listed out everything there. The reason we did that, I know other issues can come up. We're happy to help with those, but we didn't want to get into saying we're going to cover everything, not knowing how much time that's going to take. So the bid is for the items listed there. Anything else, Freedom of Information Act requests, we're happy to help with gathering some of that information, but that's something we have no way of knowing how much time would be involved. That would just be billed at our standard hourly rates, depending on the staff that's doing the work.
But you met with Miss Donna and Kayla.
Yes.
And you see the situation we're in with our budget and stuff like that, and you guys will be able to kind of
yes, sir.
keep that in there.
Yes, sir.
And my question is here, item 10 here is talking about the prepare and review the monthly financial statements. And I don't know if you've actually worked with the system of the kind we've got. Like I say, ours is in separating those different funds. I think I think all the ingredients are there, but the financial format that is printing out has gotten a little scrambled up since we lost our treasurer. Some of the things just didn't get coded in there right, and they're, like I say, that street fund thing and the solid waste thing, and it just needs some, I'll say, unscrambling and try to a little breakdown. Some of the monies have been put, we collected old revenues into garbage, and they've just been put in like they were part of this year's revenues. Well, that's going to throw us off budgeting time if we think we actually collected that much money this year. So to me, that should be put in a separate little line item there. They found an error in the previous year's bookkeeping of what the water department sent to us. And y'all can straighten that out for us?
Yeah, it'll probably take some time to work through all those issues, and something like the one you're mentioning, probably another general ledger account would need to be added to show the prior year. That way you know what was current year, what was prior year. So, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some issues to work through on that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Also, what I see that's not covered in this, we have a monthly meeting like this every month.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know how the other councilmen feel, but especially the way things are currently for at least a few months, and I would say probably up to a year, we would need someone representing during the council meetings to answer questions until we get everything back to where we feel comfortable with it. That'll be billed at a...
That would be billed, we put that at the bottom of the quote there, that would be billed separate.
Yeah.
If maybe there's a month where you don't need anybody here, that's fine, we don't have to come, won't charge you for that. If you do, one of us will be here.
I don't see that month coming up anytime
Well,
soon.
maybe eventually, once the issues are worked out. And then the councilmen are also free to email us questions, something comes up when you're looking over the financials before the meeting.
Right.
Email us a question, we might be able to answer your question without having to come down to the meeting.
Right.
But yeah, one of us will be available to come if you want us at the meeting.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you all in the capacity of doing a forensic audit?
We do audits. The problem is if we're hired to do accounting services, we can't do both. You have to do an audit, you have to be independent. So
that's why I'm asking you.
Yes, sir.
Are you capable?
Yes, sir. Yes, we do audits. As far as a forensic audit, there's a lot of technical details you have to get into. As far, there's other reports, and LE could tell you there's another report called agreed upon procedures that's a little different than an audit, but basically you can tell us areas of concern, and you can look at certain areas rather than doing a full audit, because a full audit is going to be expensive. It's going to be very expensive, especially if you're talking about going back several years.
We spend a lot of money here, and I'm going to spend it one time, get it done, get it over with. Everybody can be at ease because we got the truth.
Right. That's probably not, if you hired us to do the accounting services, that's probably something you would want to look for another firm to do, just because we can't do both. Not allowed to do both.
But you are capable.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Will this have to be renegotiated every year, Mayor?
I mean, we don't have a set time frame on it. I guess it could end at any time if you decided to go a different route.
No, I mean,
We're not putting
are
in-
we looking at a 1 year?
We do an engagement,
Service.
we have to do an engagement letter with you each year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we would have to revisit it each year.
Okay.
No other questions?
Good. How are we gonna move forward? I mean, he's come up and made a presentation to us. We all have information in front of us. I don't think anybody here is under the impression that we can keep going exactly like we're going. How do we move forward if this is the way that we decide to go? How do we move forward with this? How do you see us moving forward?
Well, I would like to make a motion that we amend our agenda at the end and add this on there and say, work out the contract based on this offer we've got here. He'll have to sign an engagement letter thing, will have to be drawn up.
Yes.
From his standpoint to sign off, but I'm gonna say, let's make a motion to approve it.
But that would have to come with a resolution next month to approve that, right? Yeah.
Hey,
We have,
working it out.
I think we got a couple of things that come into play.
Yeah.
One would be a motion to approve the contract with them, but then we've got to amend the budget to provide for that funding. So we've got to say
Okay.
what we'll pay that out of, which I guess right now we have a line item for
well, our,
finance part.
yeah.
So we have to say we're doing it, and I think it needs to tie in with what we're doing. We still got to have a treasurer. We still have to have a treasurer. That person will still review what they did. So we're not getting rid of the treasurer's position.
Okay.
But we have an ordinance that when we separate the two, the treasurer is easier to delineate their activities because that's an appointed position. So we've got a last ordinance that says, here's what the treasurer is going to do. In my mind, if we're going to delegate that to an outside firm, then the ordinance that deals with the treasurer needs to be amended to say, here's what we want the treasurer to do, and what's the salary for the treasurer going to be. And then we've also got a resolution right now that says the clerk acts as the interim temporary treasurer. And we need to have a treasurer. The purpose of that resolution is to have an interim, but I think all three would be the contract with the county outside firms. And we've also got the duties of the treasurer as they're now stated need to be amended. And then we've got the temporary resolution having the clerk act as the treasurer needs to be amended.
Do we need
Figure out how
to,
we're doing those, working on together.
do we have to have a written resolution to authorize the mayor to engage in a contract, to approve this contract, so that we can get that in the works? And, I mean, you're going to have to work out all that other, the treasurer's renaming and our resolutions to come up at a later point, but I'm thinking we can move this on tonight by letting them
Well,
get.
just that one part.
Yeah.
If we do just that one part,
Yeah.
we just need to know that we come back and kind of fill in the details.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
We've been filling in
Wait a minute.
details for a long time.
Why do we have to have such a knee-jerk reaction? Why can't we, like you said, do the legwork and come back next month with a resolution and do it right?
Well, you've got a proposal here, I guess.
I mean, the proposal is here.
Yeah.
It's still on the table, right? It's not gonna change within a month, is it? It is?
No,
Or it's
sir,
not?
No.
Yeah, I just think we need to slow down, and you said it's a lot of
Well,
stuff.
council, one,
Yeah.
you got those three different items. So the question is, it would make sense to do it at the same time in my mind, but there's nothing that prevents the council from just saying, we want to engage with the contracting firm just to do the activity. But it would make a lot more sense to say, we're also gonna address, if we're paying them $5,200 a month, what are we doing with the other salaries that are being paid towards
Yeah.
finance? But it has to be done that way, that would make sense. I actually think it would make sense to start October 1st, which would be the last quarter of the year. So we need a set time to say when is this going into effect, and when are we transitioning with all these different moving parts.
Yeah, with all them different moving parts and line items and stuff like that, you talking about with the treasurer and stuff like that, think we need to sit down and do that, and come back to the council and say, this is what we are, this is what we're gonna do, and I don't think anybody here have a problem.
The only thing I'll say is we will need a little bit of transition time as far as the payroll part, getting all that set up. You know, we're going to have to get W-4s and the information from all employees to set that up, to get ready to process that. I mean, October 1st might be better anyway, because that gives us time to do that.
Answered by September
Whatever your meeting date is.
September the 10th or something like that, and then said.
Yeah, as long as we can get the information very quickly after that, we can have it set up. It gives us a little time to get everything going.
But isn't that how we got in this mess, by trying to fast track stuff?
Well, I have another question. If we got to have a treasurer, we got a bookkeeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna have to have a treasurer, you said?
Correct.
And we're talking about hiring in. So it almost looks like we're adding two and not, and not replacing one. It almost acts like this is gonna be a separate expense. Well, you're talking at $5,250, that's $63,000 a year, right here.
Exactly.
So if we've gotta have a treasurer anyway, and the treasurer, according to what we say now, the treasurer has to meet this qualification, whatever that qualification may be. I'm not opposed to this, I just think that it looks like that we're spending double money for one job.
Need a forensic audit.
And this ain't got anything to do with the forensic audit, this is just, we're spending double money for one job.
This discussion is with the council. The audience is to be quiet.
That's okay. If right now there is just a motion to engage the county firm, and that's leaving in place everything else. So that's what I'm saying, is that if the treasurer and the bookkeeper are doing less work, how much is still needed? That was the question, is how you adjust those positions, just like it was adjusted when the clerk, treasurer was separated. There was a big discussion about, okay, we got clerk treasurer department right now with this many people working in the office, we're gonna separate them. How many of the treasurer duties, what is needed for that, what are needed for the clerk duties? In my mind, we're back to that, because if we're going to say, here's what the outside accounting firm is gonna do, I don't know what that leaves for the treasurer to do, or how much, how much time that. Certainly, we gotta be a way to say we're cutting back on the time, but if we don't do anything else, we are just saying we're adding. We're not doing anything about what are we cutting back.
I'm trying to get my head wrapped around.
How long?
No, wait a minute. I'm trying to get my head wrapped around, if we got to have somebody to take a look at what they're doing and make sure it's kind of like a check and balances with them, then that person, in my opinion, has to be qualified to do what they do in order to do it. You're not gonna go out for $20,000 a year to get somebody that's qualified to do that. So I'm thinking we're not gonna be able to cut salaries. We're not gonna be able to get a discount accountant to come in, even though they may be doing most of the legwork. I think if we hire an accountant, the accountant's gonna make X salary, and then we're paying them X salary, which according to this will be about $63,000 a year. And if I remember correctly, that's about what our accountant was making as well. And then plus we got bookkeepers, a bookkeeper, I'm sorry. And I don't, in no means do I understand what all of them are doing every minute of every day. But it looks to me like we've still got to go out and find that qualified person to do this. And then this will be an extra expense.
That's the
Am I
question-
correct?
That's the question that I want to ask right there. How long is your service going to be? Is it going to be for a year contract, 2-year contract, or going to be permanent?
You don't know.
That's what he said, it will be reviewed each year.
And so what I'm saying is by that, couldn't you get a treasurer to come and you all teach and show her how to go about the system, and then once you do it, and then you won't have to keep on paying all that. I mean, I look at it. And that's the way you did, and that's the way we done in the military. You train a person out the wild after they get qualified and set in their position right there. Then, because you're gonna have certain systems, right, that you're gonna in place, right.
The accounting software will be the same as
I
being
think this
used
is
now.
probably just hiring an outside person. This is to take over some of the duties. So the question is, once those duties are no longer in the treasurer's office, how much will we put the work back? That's what's gonna take the council deciding, working with the treasurer and the bookkeeper to say, right now, we've got 2 positions there, we have full-time treasurer, and we've got bookkeeper slot. That's what we're slotted for. And if you're taking these duties off, is that taking off 10% of the duties? Is that taking off 90% of the duties? How much is that changing these positions?
Mr. Fry, why would we rent a house when we can buy it? We can do an audit and solve all of these problems. It's gonna cost. Because we put ourselves in this mess.
Those are 2 different things. It's not solving the problem.
It's not 2 different things. It keeps us from paying so many people that's not qualified to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Audit is not someone to take care of the monthly activities. So that's separate. So if he's going to do the monthly activities, I guess that's separate from reviewing the past. So audit is reviewing the past. It is not someone coming in to say, I'm taking care of October 2024. Those are 2 separate things.
And it just simply tells us we don't have the people in place qualified to even take care of a monthly budget. It just exposes us for wherever we are.
Either or. I think you would do either or. You're either gonna have a treasurer or you're gonna have a accounting firm.
If we did move forward with this and take this in a couple of months, I guess another thought that enters my head, until we get a treasurer, someone in the treasurer's position, who is gonna be that second set of eyes to look? You know, if we say we need a treasurer to be able to do that, then what are we gonna do until we find a treasurer?
Do you have a second set now? Do you have a second set of eyes?
I'm just talking about moving forward.
I'm talking about moving forward. We've been dealing with this.
Okay.
Do we have a second set to tell us? We haven't been able to vote on a monthly budget.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So let's solve the problem.
Can I offer a suggestion? I'm serious. How about we have a workshop, hash this out? We need a workshop. And kind of putting a bad taste in these guys' mouth.
Oh, I think.
I'm just saying, some of this discussion we can do in a workshop or whatever. I mean, just hear me out, Marvin.
I'm listening.
Yeah, and forensic audit, that's what a lot of people want. We can talk about that, this and that, but they talking about their service and stuff like that. And let's just get together a little later and hash everything out and go from there.
You and I talk. You in this business. You know about dirty laundry.
Yes, sir.
We just earned our dirty laundry. This ain't your first rodeo.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So we need to put our things on the table and get it fixed and get it cleaned up. And we don't have to deal with this. But it's gonna keep coming until we fix it.
What some cities do, others the municipal league, because this is coming
This is
before.
Camden.
Right, I'm just telling you what others do that use accounting firms. They have a treasurer by signature only and a bookkeeper. Is that correct?
Right, it's a much more limited role than we're asking. Right now, all these things are supposed to be done.
It's supposed to be done.
The question is that the person that we have there now will not be doing all of these things.
I understand.
If you have somebody that would be okay, with my signature, the treasurer looking at it, it's a different position than what we have in the ordinance. It's different than what's in the budget. I mean, that position is not going to be the same.
Man, when we're talking about don't concern them. That's what we're talking about, man. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plyer.
That was my question.
Thank you. If the audience cannot be quiet, we will ask you to leave. This part of the meeting is with the council. That is who is to speak unless you're called on. And we do thank Turner, Rodgers, Manning, and Plyer for being here tonight. for presenting this proposal, and we will be looking into this further. State legislative audit called today. They will be here the 26th of this month to do our audit, which will be a forensic audit.
Good.
Discussed that with them. And it is not auditors that I know or have relationship with. So don't let that lie get out there.
Actually, this, you might not know, but how far would they go back? If they just doing a year, if they going back 5 years?
They're doing last year.
Last year. Okay.
If we have some other years we want to go back to, we'll be glad to discuss that with them.
Can we ask them to go back further? I mean, I
We
think
got the
this goes
reports.
back.
They mail us the reports each year.
Yeah.
Nick?
But can we request to go back further than just a year?
Yeah.
But they've already done the ones for 21 and 22. It's just,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
May I ask a question?
Not till I finish. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Chief, if people cannot follow directions, we'll have to ask them to leave.
Amen. Act like a joke.
We want to say thank you to Mr. David Richardson and the Camden Water Utilities. As the council is aware, we had issues regarding the lift station forced main line out at the landfill. This line is 1 mile long, and best estimation given was that it had not worked in approximately 8 years. We had a cost estimation from Glenn Mechanical to replace with a new line at $189,000. I know Mr. Lindsay had a discussion with Mr. Richardson, and Mr. Richardson came and talked to me and asked about them going out there. We know they deal with the water lines and a lot of lines in the city all the time. So the Camden Water Utility went out, they worked on the line, they troubleshooted areas, they made recommendations on replacing a pump with a larger one. I'm happy to now say that line is operational and it has been monitored for 3 weeks with no problems, and they will continue monitoring that. So we did not have to spend that money for the new line. We also have new scales and lift pumps in place out at the landfill that have been operating for about a month. Representatives from AEDQ came down. They trained everyone at the scale house on how the tickets should be made out. The instructions have been typed out, laminated, and Mr. Alford has placed them inside the building in case any questions do come up. They also came to City Hall and they trained Mr. Vaughn on how the reports are to be done, as well as the timelines on those. And cross-training will be done with other employees on those reports. Myself, Chief Carpenter, Assistant Chief Parker, Miss Alyssa Garrett with the Housing Authority, along with members of the Village Council, met and had discussions on how we can work together to ensure the safety and well-being of all of our residents. Additional patrols have been taking place in both vehicles and on foot in the housing units. I hear them do those checks myself. I know they have been, and I've heard them when they say they're getting out of the cars and doing them on foot, believe it or not. Discussions were brought up with them, with the Housing Authority regarding cameras, inspections, the ban list, and other topics. We will have additional meetings so that we can keep clear communication between everybody. It was not a bashing session, it was a how can we work together, what can we do to help you, what can you do to help us for the safety of all of our residents. 3 officers have completed their training with Alita and are now at work at the department. Civil service testing was given recently and 1 person was hired from that testing. The chief is waiting on word from the Civil Service Commission regarding another testing date. So if you know anyone that's interested in working in law enforcement, please have them come to the police station and fill an application out. I left flyers at all of your places. Commodity distribution will be happening in Carnes Park tomorrow and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please share the information with anyone that would be needing those services. Also, this Sunday, there is a back-to-school kickoff from 12 o'clock till probably darkish time at Ivor Clark Park. Jasmine Moore has organized this. There'll be kickball tournaments, 3-on-3 basketball, inflatables, food, volleyball, lots of games, lots of fun. We encourage everybody to go out and participate in that. Please continue to remember the family of L.C. Buckshot Smith in your prayers. That was brought up earlier. I want to say thank you to the Camden Police Department and the Camden Fire Department for all your support to the family to honor one that served our community for so many years. And Mr. Lindsay will have something to bring up at the end regarding that he's asked about for Buckshot. But also, Mr. Parham is sitting outside the doors, and be in prayer for his family as he recently lost his only child. And they need our prayers too. Thank you.
Yes. I got a document in my itinerary this month. I've never had this. It came from Mr. Covington.
Yes, sir. That's going to be at the end in discussion tonight.
Okay. You should be commended. I've never seen this from any department here. You explained where the money was going, where it was coming from, and what was going to be said.
Yes, sir.
You ought to be training the rest of them.
Okay, that will be under other business when we get down there. Let's move to old business.
I got a question for you. You mentioned the line at the transfer station, and it got fixed by installing a bigger pump.
That was one of the things. Yes, sir.
A high pressure pump.
So what now?
It was a high pressure pump.
Okay, so the line did not need replacing or do not need replacing?
Parts of the line were cut into, it had stoppage, they cut into parts of the line, run it. It was able to clear a lot of fog that was in there from just sitting there for so many years. And then reconnected that part of the line they cut. They also had to install new aerators in certain spots or get the old aerators working. But that was.
Yeah, well, I mean, hats off to David Richardson and the water department, but, and I know we saved some money, which is good, but I'm just making sure we just didn't put a Band-Aid on it. And, you know, because I know Glenn Mechanical said we need to replace the line and stuff like that, and that's the business that they in, you know. But that's gonna be.
Mr. SQ.
Yes, sir. The line was in good shape. The parts of the line they worked on, the parts they unstopped, was still in good shape, according to Mr. Richardson and his crew. And it didn't really take a lot in the parts, I believe, that they unstopped.
So Earl, is that gonna do it?
Earl was with them a lot of the time they were there. He can answer more of them.
We have to realize that it will ever be a problem.
What I witnessed with the line was we got a bigger pump, more pressure, like Marvin just said. They're gonna trade the 2 pumps that we bought. They're gonna trade them out, give us credit on those. They went so far, spliced into the line, blowed it out in each direction, put aerators, as he said, used compression fittings to put them back together, clamps and all like that, and they worked in and out on that line maybe 3 weeks or something like that, and they finally got to the problem where it was stopped up, which was an aerator. They changed it out, and they started pumping all the way up to Lucas Street from the transfer station.
So we good?
We good on that line.
Okay.
We good on that line.
We got another problem?
Well, yes, which is where the pad at in the back. It has a drain that needs to be blowed out just as well. And that's the drain that way before I was in a position to say anything, they busted the concrete and let the stuff run down the drain itself. So that has to be unstopped and then worked 2 more pumps, I think, drains up the hill to get it all functioning. But they got the main line fixed. It's just what they fixing to do now, probably a 1-day project, and it'll fix the wasted material going down the drain.
But this other line, we need the same thing to happen?
No, it's where they bag the big trucks up at. It's a big old pad in the back. Yeah. There's a drain right there that stops up that supposed to run to that pump, and all combined together. So that's the one that the stuff that leaks out of the truck that causes a lot of problems. So they in the process of doing that amongst everything else that street department and the water department is doing, busted water lines, fixing streets and all that kind of stuff. So it's a slow process, and it's just gonna take a little while.
Is that a gravity flow line, not a pressure pump?
No, it's a pressure pump.
Pressure pump.
No, gravity, no. Because this landfill is at the bottom. It's pumping that line all the way from there up to Lucas, which is up and down hills.
All right. We'll move on to old business, ordinance number 0924. Who will introduce this? For the second reading.
Ordinance number 924, an ordinance amending section 6, building and building regulations, article 2, plumbing of the City of Camden, Arkansas Code of Ordinances, adopting by reference the 2018 Arkansas Plumbing Code and the 2018 Arkansas Fuel Gas Code, and for other purposes.
We'll move that forward to the third final reading next month. We'll move to new business. Ordinance 10-24. Who will introduce this?
I will.
Ordinance number 1024, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 702, assessing a lien on certain property located at 1049 Cook Avenue.
I'll make a motion that we put this up, suspend the rules, and put it up for a third and final reading.
Okay, so the vote is on suspending the rules. Roll call.
Argay?
Yes.
Askew?
Yes.
Rennick?
Yes.
Winters?
Yes.
Castleberry?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
McCoy?
Okay. Now, is there a motion to approve?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve it. I want to make an amendment to it afterwards. should be $900.
Well,
You had it already?
Yeah, I had it already.
I'll let you do it.
No.
Need a second?
Yes.
Second.
Now discussion.
I want to make a motion to amend this. We've kind of had a standard agreement, I guess, here for a number of years to do about a 20%, if we at least get that much of our money back on what we spent. So instead of $800, I say we amend that to read $900 instead of $800 in section 2.
I would second that. That's what we said we would do.
Any other discussion? So we need a roll call to amend. Okay.
Winters,
Yes.
Askew,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Castleberry,
Yes.
Renix,
Yes.
RJ,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Now we need a motion to accept as amended.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Moore,
Yes.
McCoy, Lindsay,
Yes.
Castleberry,
Yes.
RJ, Askew, Renix,
Yes.
Winters.
Resolution number 3624, introduced by the mayor.
Resolution number 3624, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Camden, Arkansas, awarding the bid for the installation of Chip Seal Resurfacing for the Public Works Street Department.
And all of the bids were at your places tonight. They're each attached to the resolution. We have a motion to approve.
And this is resolution 3624.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve.
That's on you, ain't
Yeah.
I second.
Any discussion?
This is just for Palisades and Edgemont, right?
Yeah, this is Chip Seal.
I hope it works out good, because Brady's brother, he's a little concerned about the chip seal. I'm gambling on it. It's going to work all right.
Traffic, it's not as much traffic.
Right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Resolution number 3724, introduced by the mayor. And this is the bid for asphalt. This is for the overlay of streets in wards 2 and 3.
Make a motion to approve.
Any discussion?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not on the agenda. It's in our packet.
Have you considered what we talked about
got pulled.
as far as,
I didn't, that's what
You pull that?
the revised was.
Saxon Mall Road and the street running along the, water tower?
Yes, that was,
Banner.
not Banner, but Leonard.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's Banner, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is.
Banner.
I
was just looking now.
We still have time as
Yeah.
far as long as, just say if you change your streets, 2 and 3, if you change what street that I picked,
Yeah.
as long as the street that you pick has the same measurements, it's just an even swap.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chip sealing on a street that got a lot of potholes, chip sealing to me is only good if the street is already smooth. But if it's a street like, just say Short Union over there between Grinstead and Center, chip seal wouldn't do no good.
No, I get that. I'm looking at traffic and at the end of Banner. You know, I mean, there's no houses, no.
Right.
I just don't want to be wasting asphalt, mainly wasting money.
Right. Which Mr. Foote has got us at the end because, you know, he does work for the State Department, Highway Department rather. So, like I said, if you want a different street than the one I picked, that's why I asked whatever street y'all want done. Y'all pick your streets and I go measure them and get them all done. If you want to swap a street, that's just a bid or estimate to get you, you know, what the price of the asphalt and all that is. But I don't mind going to measure another street.
I think we need to
just as long.
swap one, at least one.
We can swap it.
Yeah.
Well, my recommendation is, if you're gonna do some streets, a company that size, when they bring all their equipment to one spot, they don't want to go all the way over on the other side of town because that's gonna bring your cost up, and they don't like to move that heavy equipment for one street all the way on the other side of town.
I feel you.
So I was
that.
trying to bunch the area in.
Yeah. And the majority of the streets over in Ward 2 I'm good with, but I just think we need to.
Hey, that's fine.
We need to get rid of one of them, and they is gonna have to move. This street I'm talking about, and I mean, man, we are paying them.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah. But that's fine. I mean,
me and McCoy, we'll talk to you after.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Which is it? The one you mentioned before over there at the end, Richview or something like. Not Richview, but yeah, in West Camden Heights.
Yeah. It needed, man. And I mean, that's a residential area, you know, houses there, and
It's that last street, isn't it?
Yeah, all the way to the
it'd
end.
be more beneficial than,
That's fine.
you know.
Yeah. All right.
I like to swap the street for that street.
I get you want the whole entire street from Ridgeview
That back
east
corner.
all the way to, or you want to start at Lucas and go to the end? Or you want to do the entire street?
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. I get you some measurements.
Not
on that
Lucas,
tomorrow.
but just
But
that
no,
back
what I'm
street.
saying is,
Yeah.
you know, where it meets Lucas.
Right.
And Glassell.
From north to south.
Gotcha. I got you.
Yeah. What do you think, Clark?
Y'all want to get thorough afterwards and talk about streets?
You good? You not? We'll talk about it.
Y'all get together and talk. Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Resolution 38-24, introduced by the mayor.
Resolution number 3824, a resolution of the City of Camden, Arkansas, awarding municipal oils and lubricants.
You have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. And normally, we do only do oil and lubes once a year, but because of the prices and the way they're going, they asked to do 6 months at a time. So that's why you have this one right now.
Is this a request from the bidder?
Yes. Well, the bid that was accepted the first of the year, it was for a 6-month time period.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
So this is something from the bidder saying that they want a 6-month.
Yes, sir.
We only had, the first of the year, we only had the one bid.
Right.
And they asked for a 6 month. Yes. And then this time, we only had one respondent again from the same bid.
Okay, so have we begun to search around to see if we got somebody we can work with?
More than happy to try to keep looking for more people to respond.
I have people contact me and I send it to them, but they've never sent it to me.
Okay.
We're more than happy to be more competitive.
It would be more competitive if we had more people bidding.
Yes, more than happy to. I'll send it to whoever.
And I think you understand, Tom. I don't want them to control our destiny to tell me. They may come back and say, I want a 3-month bid.
We used to keep a bid list years ago when I was here before of people who would bid on certain products, and we could send an invitation to those folks as well. I'm trying to work to get that put back together, like we used to have, so that we have more competition.
Okay. I buy the same bread at certain stores, but I go to certain stores where the cheapest bread is. But it's the same bread. Okay.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Resolution number 3924, introduced by the mayor.
Resolution number 3924, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Camden, Arkansas, awarding the bid for the purchase of one 2024 F-150 crew cab pickup for the Code Enforcement Department.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Now this is, as we stated, the code enforcement truck. That truck was involved in a wreck last year and was totaled out. We do have some insurance money on that came in, and you have the bids, or the bid.
How much insurance money we get?
Like 26,000, wasn't it?
It covers basically half of the purchase.
I got a question. So when that accident happened and you end up getting the former public director's vehicle?
Yes.
And you still driving it?
No,
right?
sir.
You're not?
In this position, I drive my personal vehicle.
Okay.
That vehicle went back to the public works.
Okay. So.
No, Miss Jeanette's not driving it yet. She needs a truck to drive.
Well, she wasn't driving if he was driving.
But this,
passed on her,
but this vehicle stays at code.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to get. Was you still driving that vehicle? Was it that going to Miss Jeanette? And this and
We got
that?
it to Jeanette for 1 or 2 days, and then Public Works took it back because they had promoted someone to Earl's old position and then a position under that, so it went back to where it was assigned. It was still assigned to Public Works.
They should have left off that vehicle, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Everybody got
But, all right.
It's gonna be rough next year for Public Works.
No, it ain't gonna be next year.
Okay, any other discussion on the code enforcement truck?
I'm going to be in agreement because it's code enforcement, and I know they need one there, but we got trucks everywhere.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Resolution 4024, introduced by the mayor.
Resolution number 4024, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Camden, Arkansas, awarding the bid for the purchase of one 2024 F-150 regular cab pickup for the Public Works Department.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Yes. Now this is a.
Y'all will have to come up here.
This a flatbed.
Which truck is it? Parks
This is the
Department?
parks.
No, this is a regular short
regular
cab,
short
long
cab.
wheelbase.
Tell me what you need this truck for.
Well, as I believe as Marvin asked earlier, how many vehicles Parks Department has. I sat over there counting in my head. They have 6 vehicles, one of which is a mothballed Dodge Durango from the fire department right now. We have 10 people that work in that department. over 1,000 acres of grass to mow on a weekly basis. We have to have people in trucks to get equipment where it needs to be to get the job done. The last old truck, I know y'all heard me talk about it, the old 94 that had no rear brakes, wasn't even road safe. It's sitting at the landfill right now. That way they can drive it to Class 4 and back, and apparently it's permanently down now. They've got a Dodge that's down, and one more Dodge that was Sam Stillman's truck that might have another year left on it.
How many years on average you put miles on those vehicles?
Oh, like I said, the oldest trucks I have right now that are actually in decent running condition are 2001, averaging 200, 300,000 miles. And then these trucks aren't assigned to just one person. You have to think about that. It's not like me driving my personal truck that I drive this truck all day, every day. I've got 6 people in that department. Next month I might have 9 people. They might have all 9 new people that are getting behind these wheels, and they all treat them different.
See, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. I mean, we got to be accountable, man.
Oh, I'm strict on it. That's why y'all talk about seeing us going around in these nice shiny trucks. It's mandatory. You clean that vehicle. Clean vehicle doesn't break down there as much.
No,
you maintain that vehicle.
You clean a vehicle, but I mean, it's how you driving it and also, yeah, maintaining and everything, but again.
We have pre-trips on that, but like I've said before, there's 39 people, there's one of me. I can't sit there and watch everybody check their engine oil.
Do we keep logbooks in these trucks?
Logbooks, no.
Why don't we have a personal log? I had personal logs in my trucks.
Yes, sir.
Every day I checked to see if the check sheet was done.
Yeah, we sign our keys out. You know, all our keys are on the board.
Yeah, but you're not getting a
No,
confirmation from the driver to say that I did this.
That's my pre-trip. It doesn't stay in the truck. They come, they get a pre-trip off my door, they go, date it, name, unit number,
Fill it out, bring
fill
it
it
back,
out.
you keep it on file.
Yes. Yes, we go through them either daily or every other day, and they write up anything that might be wrong with it so we can try to fix it.
Well, they should have something like a pre-maintenance checks and services, you know.
It's on the pre-trip.
That's what we done.
That's what he's
Check
saying.
your oil levels and check that, and you put how many miles you did on those vehicles. I got an F-150 I just gave my son, 2006. Got 300 and some thousand miles on it.
Oh, I've got an F-150 with 275.
You know,
It's my daily driver.
And it runs good when I gave it to him, but I took care of it. I checked oil, I checked the water, I pulled service on it. You know, they need to, you know, and I know my brother, I seen the truck that he had in the time when he was supervisor. It was one of the worst ones in there at that time. It was, but you know, he took care of it, you know. And the guys gonna have to, you know, really just take care of these vehicles, and even they have to be accountable individually for them, you know.
That's it.
Yeah, from one man getting into it, the other one have to, and he gonna have to check behind the other one.
I agree.
Because man, you know, that's a lot of money wearing tear on vehicles.
Oh, I agree. We're constantly working on
I'm
it,
seeing
from
that.
small
I
to
see
big
a lot
stuff.
of new vehicles around, you know.
And I said, all these, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, the paper logs that you're talking about in pre-trips, it's all great, and it's absolutely garbage, and it means nothing. But dash cams on all these vehicles, they're expensive, but they work.
And I had,
Who's driving, we know how they're driving, we know if they're brake checking, we know if they're tailgating, we know how fast they're driving, we know who's taking care of vehicles and who isn't.
and I had all those priced last year, but council turned it down.
Now, I'll say that my daughter drives everything she's ever had like it was stolen. And I wouldn't let her anywhere near one of my vehicles. And we don't know who we're hiring. We've got to protect our equipment. Yes, dash cams are expensive, but they work.
Yes, sir.
Everybody remember last year, what was it we spent on equipment? Like $1.2 million on equipment last year because equipment had not been kept up for the last several years. This truck is in the budget. We put it in the budget. When we made the budget, this truck is in the budget, is to replace some of those older trucks and everything in that. Yeah, you can drive them till you run them in the ground, but at some point, you gotta pay the piper. Now, you wanna pay it all in 1 year when they all break down, or do you wanna buy them a little along? They on a rotation now to where they do that, and they're budgeted. These trucks are in this year's budget to purchase. It wasn't a surprise. We knew that they wanted to buy these trucks.
We amend the budget though, all the time.
We amend that budget every day. And you know, we gotta keep the water bill going, light bill. And no reflection on you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when it wasn't a third of the amount of trucks down there in Public Works operated. I'm not saying they weren't struggling, but it looked like everybody got a new truck. I saw a man washing his truck one day, and he was wiping it down real good. He was doing what you say he did. He had that sucker clean, like I clean my truck at home. There's nothing wrong with that. But we got so many new trucks. And like I said, you got to understand my position. I've been taking down playground equipment at all the parks. Y'all know that. Because it's old. Kids get hurt. But I'm not replacing it with anything. I got a lot of people coming to the park playing kickball. You hear everybody bragging about it. Ain't nowhere where the kids to play. You got two little dump horses down there and one seesaw, and I tell them to stay off of it because it's been a... So when do we start prioritizing what we're gonna do? People riding around in one truck, or putting something out there for the kids to play because their parents playing kickball? That's where I'm at.
I understand.
It ain't personal with me, it's business.
No, I agree. Okay. Like I said, I just brought my wish list and
I understand.
This is here. Now we're here.
Okay, no more discussion. We're going to vote by a show of hands. All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstain?
It's up to you.
We're going to pass on it this time.
We're going to what?
We are not getting it.
No.
Resolution 4124, introduced by the mayor.
Resolution number 4124, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Camden, Arkansas, awarding the bid for the purchase of one 2024 F-450 crew cab pickup with platform service bed for the Public Works Streets Department.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second? Okay, discussion, and I will explain. This is the patch truck
Yes.
that they use. The old patch truck, the motor blew up in it, what, over a year ago?
February of last year, yes.
The patch truck is also used as the salt truck. And if you remember the bad winter storm we had this year, the street department was out there with shovels having to do this by hand because they didn't have the truck to use, and we ended up with the whole department sick.
Yeah. Streets and parks.
So the truck was down because of a motor?
Yes.
Wouldn't it have been cheaper to buy a motor?
Can't get one.
Can't get one.
Cannot get one. Ford is on back order for that engine. It has been for going on 2 years now. I'm still trying to find one. The truck's still sitting at Jim Golden. But even if we replace the motor,
do we look anywhere other than Jim Golden?
yes, but as I was saying, even if we replace this motor with another diesel engine, this truck's not designed for that job, for being a patch truck. That's what's tearing it up, is doing the 5 miles an hour, idling, going slow. This truck is meant to pull heavy loads, take highway trips. That's what tore this engine up for the second time. This is the second time it's blown the motor out in that truck. And this truck that's on bid in front of you is a gas engine F450 that will handle the requirements.
Okay, so before you, we bought the wrong truck,
Yes, the truck was bought by supervisor before me, yes.
but he bought the wrong truck for the job that it was in.
Yes, that truck needs to be pulling heavy loads at high speeds, or at least highway speeds.
For long distance.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a flatbed
Yes,
also?
it is flatbed, tilt bed, so you can load, unload the asphalt easier.
No, I'm talking about the previous truck.
Yes, yes.
The one where the engine blew up.
Yes, it's same bed, same design.
I can remember, and like I said, this new and improved, but back when Mr. Butler was doing that, they had an old dump truck they'd go down and shovel that off of.
I remember. He was doing that when I started here.
Yeah, but that wasn't working. That blew the truck up. Or?
Right now, we only have one good dump truck.
Y'all was out there in Lafayette Heights not long ago. What truck was y'all using then?
I'm not sure then. Oh, is that the one they're using now? Yeah. Yes, we have a regular flatbed truck, but it's on its last leg. It's in the rotation for about 2 more years, maybe probably next year to try to replace it.
So you got 2
And that
years
is our
left.
and that is our poison truck. That's what we put the poison sprayer on to poison grass. So if you want to patch, you have to spend a day to take the poison sprayer off. If you want to poison, you have to spend a day to clean it up to put the poison sprayer on.
So you do have a truck to use.
Yes,
You just
we
have
have we have one, but it's not very efficient.
Let's vote.
Okay. No other discussion? By show of hands, all those in favor? All opposed? Yes, we need this truck, and it was in the budget. Resolution number 4224, introduced by the mayor.
Resolution number 4224, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Camden, Arkansas, authorizing the mayor to enter into a lease extension of the women's crisis center of South Arkansas.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion? Yes, sir.
For all of you that don't know, I sat on the board of the Women's Crisis Center for several years, and the ugliness that people do in their homes in this city is unimaginable. And we were without a Women's Crisis Center for a short while, and the city had to pitch in and help. This was 12, 13 years ago.
During the Clay Baker time.
And really need to consider this positive. It's a mandatory service.
And this is renewing the lease, that we already have a lease with them.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Fry? We used to didn't publicize locations of that. Why did we start doing it? I've worked with the Crisis Center for years. I have a niece works there.
We do not publicize the address, even when it comes across the police radio. It says undisclosed location. Now, there was someone in the media recently that stated the street that it was on, which should not have ever been said.
Right.
That's why it's not an address on the resolution, but it probably figured that it's supposed to be one of the
Well, I just, because of my connection to her as my niece, she always carried stuff to her somewhere, and then she carried. I never went there, but I knew what it was for. Okay.
It's not an address on the resolution.
You know.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Now we will move to other business, and Chief Covington, if you would come up and your proposal.
There was a letter in y'all's pocket, y'all read it. Kind of explains it.
Mr. Covington.
Sir.
I've been on this board a while.
Yes, sir.
I've never seen anything like this. It's perfect. I didn't have to ask you what you were doing, where the money was going, where it was coming from, what it was gonna cover. I mean, I used to like to see this in my department. People said, because you tell me what you're doing, why you're doing it, where the money is coming from, and what it's for.
Yes, sir. I feel like that's part of my job. Yeah.
Okay. Good job. And you know I don't give out a lot of that edible.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I know. Yeah. It means a lot to me.
Yes, sir.
Now, I guess what I'm wondering, and maybe Mr. Frye, this would create another position in the budget and have to be funded. Do we have to have a written resolution that's gonna spell out the account item where we're putting it and all that?
And it is a temporary position, it is not a permanent.
It's gonna come out of what's already in there.
Right.
Yes, sir. It's
Not really increasing the budget.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion, we approve the presentation here.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain?
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Chief Covington. And like I said, Ellie had sent in a proposal he wanted to discuss.
Now, see, I'm going to present this, I guess, as an idea. It's not really a resolution. I'm not sure which is the best way to do it. I would like to say that we consider or consider a study of naming either the police building for Buckshot Smith or the little street that's there in front of it that's now Police Drive. We could rename it Buckshot Boulevard, or, you know, you can come up with something. But one of the two, I'm not sure which would be the most practical. I know we have an ordinance of how if you want to rename a street, you got to jump through some hoops of the adjoining property owners. That might be the easiest or the most trouble. So for the council to consider, I think we ought to do one of the two.
What about the building? Would the renaming the building be easier?
That's one to open up for discussion. I'm not sure.
Usually the problem with renaming streets is that if you're actually renaming the street, then it would be called kind of Crossing Drive, I think, and Wesley Drive, Reality Drive, is that you've got postal delivery service. Everybody's on that street, and that was the problem out in Washington.
And that would be the problem with what he suggested for Adams. Every one of those businesses would have to readdress everything they did. This one, I bet the police would be the only address to change. Yeah, there shouldn't be but 3 property owners on the front side. There might be some others on the back side where the medical stuff is. But they don't front the other side of the street, you know, they're backyard folks. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd go for the building, like the building better.
Right. So anyway, I'm just going to bring it up. Let's talk out the different ideas and the different names. We'd want to, whatever you decide to name it, you'd want to, whatever family's there to sign off on it. So, just an idea.
It's a good idea. Like I said, I would go with renaming the building. Buckshot. Clear that. Be my vote.
We in discussion.
We are in discussion.
I got some ward issues.
Okay, before we move on, we want to bring a resolution next month for the renaming the building. And what do we want to name it?
LC Buckshot Smith Police Department.
Okay, we will have that resolution next month then. Alderman Moore, now, what is your issues in your ward?
I asked a question earlier, and I just kept it for my alderman report because I got a lot of calls after I had followed up on it. The ABMA, that's that flood zone, Black Mayors Association. I was just trying to find out what the status was. And the information I got was that they had made a decision on that. And I said, well, it's my understanding that it was supposed to come back here. And I was told that the decision had already been made here. That's why I'm asking to see if I'm accurate with what somebody told me.
Well, they brought in, what, 4 proposals?
Yes, but that was just to show us. We were supposed to put our input, get back with them, and they would come back and find out where we are at. But I haven't missed a meeting on that.
We haven't had any contact.
Okay. Just trying to, if I got the wrong information, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because you remember I asked questions there. I'm not skeptical, it was just that, you remember I asked how big was the pie? And he told me it was like $16.8 million. You know,
We have a
that don't
deadline.
fix a lot of stuff when we talking about flood zones.
Yeah. We have a deadline to get that in, though. Right?
Yes, we had a deadline.
November is the deadline on the final choice of which option is going to be made, but no choice has been made on those options.
But it was my understanding that they would be coming back to us. Okay, are you in contact with them?
I can be, yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
should be.
I'm in contact with the engineers. I have not been in contact with ABMA, but I can be. I have a number to contact.
I think you should be because you represent the representatives here in Washington County.
And that's for
The
the
flood zone.
options, and that's for the options, right?
Right.
Because, I had got word that the option it was already made that the aldermen had voted on it.
And I know I hadn't voted
I said,
on
I
that.
hadn't voted on nothing. I said, it hadn't been no meeting for that, you know, and I didn't like that. I said, no, it hasn't been brought up.
I'm just trying to make sure I got the right
I will get
information.
the information on it and make sure.
I will be contacting them again tomorrow to make sure I can verify what I was told and through the website.
Let me ask a question pertaining to that, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
So when will it come across our board on what option that we're going to go to, or, I mean,
Time limit is getting short.
that's
It's
what
short.
I'm saying. So do we need that workshop? Do we need to?
We can't, what are we gonna have a workshop on?
No, I'm just saying, Marvin, you say you talking to your constituents.
I'm not only talking to my constituents.
Listen to me,
I
Marvin.
visit the website.
Just listen. You say you talking to your constituents.
Yes.
We all talking to our constituents.
Yes.
About the ABMA and the flood zone and everything, but now the next step is we need to make a choice on
Yes, we
what
do.
option. And so I'm trying to see when can we get together to say that we want option A, B, or C before November, instead of waiting till the last minute.
Well, I don't know whether I hadn't looked lately, but the day or two after they had their little dog and pony show, I tried to go to the website and say, well, let me look at those things that they've got. I certainly didn't take pictures of them when I was here. Apparently they didn't have any handouts to leave with us. So, they picked up their dog and pony show and left. I couldn't tell you.
They had
handouts. I got
They had handouts. I got plenty of handouts.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
I took pictures of everything was on the persuasion.
I got it. I mean, I got
Anybody
it.
that does it, the board's in my office, I'll be for the public or anybody.
Okay.
I
But you
understood they
got
were
some
coming
hand-
back for another meeting in September.
It was supposed to be another meeting.
That's what I understood when the engineers left here and the black mayors were coming back in September for another meeting. They had not named the date yet.
He just said it would be in the future.
Yes.
And the deadline was coming around November.
Yes.
And here's what gets me, this is critical for some families and people. You know, I know it don't mean much if you don't live in a flood zone. But if you live in a flood zone, and the way this climate change is changing, you know, I had relatives that was in North Carolina. I used to be over there at Fort Jackson, and it devastated them. And I'm just concerned with us right here in Washita County, because I know how bad it is. Ladies and some couples used to call me all the time off Alaska Street. That's out there on the backside of the old paper mill. And she couldn't get to the house or get out of the house. And it's important to me. I got one other announcement. I'm not running for re-election. So you only got so long to deal with me. And you know, I'm not leaving because I'm mad. I'm just getting old and I want to take care of my businesses, and I got some things I'm putting my hand into. You won't have to worry about me anymore. But I'm gonna always know what's going on this board, because I will be visited. And I don't think your compassion is no more harder than mine. I love my constituents. You know, this is a full-time job if you do the job. There's people I go talk to I don't want to, but I took the job. We don't have to agree. But I have to hear your statement and make sure I bring your voice here. You understand? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I got, no ma'am.
Oh, I thought you was finished.
And I brought up the discussion about the playground equipment. Carnes Park. A lot of us don't understand that Carnes Park is a part of Ward 3. Both of those parks I'm responsible for. And we know our situation in Carnes Park, but there's no playground equipment down there. Bathrooms are not really functional. And we kind of at a standstill down there right now.
The equipment is scheduled to be delivered in September, and as soon as it's ground, Davis Company will be here to start installing. That should take a couple of weeks, in my understanding, to get it completely installed and done and ready to go. So mid-October, that all-inclusive playground should be finished and done.
I just need something.
You'd like to know. I mean, that's the schedule at the moment.
I just need an answer to give to my constituents as long as I'm their representative.
The playground equipment, just that far out.
Okay. Is that at both parks?
Just
Carnes Park.
For this grant, we're still looking and searching.
So what you're speaking about is the inclusive playground.
The all-inclusive.
Yeah, okay. So there's no plans in place for our Clark Park?
We are looking.
I've been told that for over a year now.
The next outdoor grant, once this is finished up, or any other grant in between that we find, that can help us put equipment or whatever at Ivor or Clark Park, we will do so. That's the mayor's next direction to me. So.
Okay.
I'd ask you a question. I don't know. I don't see it. Does the playground equipment over there at the old depot across from White House Cafe, does it get
On
much activity and much use on the trace? Yeah.
Yes, it
It
does.
does? Okay. I'm just thinking, like I said, if it wasn't getting used, you might pull it up from there.
No, it's being used, which is also in Ward 3.
We done played on city dump equipment most of my life. We don't want no city dump equipment. There's nothing wrong with bringing new equipment to our Clark Park or the Carnes Park. You know, same kids, parents pay the same taxes. Okay,
Yes.
we need it. And they should be inclusive.
Yes, sir.
All right, one question that didn't come out of my ward, it came from some people in my ward. Are we letting bricks from private industry being dumped at the landfill with no charge. We doing free dumping for some people and no free dumping for other people. I gotta ask this question. I don't care about it. When they ask me, I gotta ask.
The only bricks that was dumped was when they tore down Old Lincoln School.
They tore down Old Lincoln School
Yes, sir.
and they dumped it at the landfill with no charge.
We were asked, the superintendent called and asked, because the contractor wanted to know, because if we're going to charge for dumping, he was going to add that to his bill to the school.
Okay.
And since the school and the city are both tax-paying entities, we didn't feel that it was, if we could help the school out in this situation, not spend a lot of extra money and keep
So
that,
what's the criteria to getting a free dump?
that would be
That's the only way.
another tax-paying entity.
Okay.
Be something with the county, they are partners in the landfill.
Say that again?
The county, it's a city-county landfill.
He said it would be similar with the county, but the county has not asked
Yeah, the county
for,
has not asked.
to dump
Okay,
anything.
but you said it's a city-county landfill. Okay.
It's a city transfer station.
I know it's a transfer station. I
Well,
didn't know
okay,
it was
but
considered the landfill and everything. Because I think we cover the landfill in our contingency plan. The county don't cover that in a contingency.
They purchased the land,
Right,
and that's, we're getting ready to do that again.
we're gonna have to. Okay.
But yes, sir, it's a school system there.
Just need to get a correct answer from them. Thank you, sir.
That is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, 3 real quick things. Stop signs on Osage and Cherokee. I ran through the Facebook. We have a neighborhood Facebook page, and I ran through it. And it was probably a 50-50 split on that, but most everybody'd rather see blue lights over there than a stop sign or a speed bump or anything else. They just want to see blue lights over on that street. So, anytime you have an opportunity, come stop somebody over on Cherokee and Osage. I don't travel much, so if you get me, you're gonna be lucky. So, no, I don't travel that much.
Well, stop signs would have to come before the council to approve,
Yeah.
because that is changing the law. You did not have a resolution tonight because I felt they needed to have more time patrolling that and to
It was about all it's gonna do, if we did that, all it's gonna do is put in a bunch of yeah, and, everybody.
read that page also.
Everybody wanted to see people being stopped. I'm not gonna talk about it tonight, but we ought to keep in mind the sportsplex, coming up. We shouldn't wait till the last minute on that as a city. And, how many murders have we had this year?
I mean, what?
Murders?
2.
More since January.
No, we have not. We've had 2 this year.
Well, I got concerned a while ago when the citizen said that we was having one a week, and it's week 32. I didn't think we'd had 32 yet. So, that makes me feel a lot better.
So 2 murders, okay?
No.
No, none is
None's
okay.
I was just trying to find a point.
None's okay. That's all I got.
The latest incident is still up for investigation. That's the gentleman, man who was found in a dumpster. This past weekend, that has to be investigated.
That was last night, and the body's been sent to the state medical examiner. Correct, Chief?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear everything.
They were questioning about the body that was discovered last evening.
Yes, over on North Street.
Yes.
A male individual was found in a back of a construction trailer there on North Street.
had been there apparently, based on what we have now, some video evidence as of last Wednesday night.
That he entered that trailer himself.
Yes. We, of course, the body has been sent off to the medical examiner in Little Rock, where we are awaiting the autopsy and the cause of death. It is still an ongoing investigation in that we have not made an identification on the body yet, so that is still ongoing. But at least at this point, there's no indication of foul play.
Okay.
I got a question for the chief while he's there. The two individuals that was on the run for the murder of the individual in
Over on Union Street?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
They still on the run? No. Have they been caught?
That is correct. We are working with the U.S. Marshal Service in our efforts to identify and locate both of those, but they have not been apprehended, no.
I got a question for the chief. I got concerned. I had an individual, I guess around the 1st of August, contacted me, and she told me that it was some Caucasian men that was over at Ivor Clark Park, and they was on the basketball court. They had the truck on the basketball court, and they wouldn't move. And the kids was out there playing, and they wasn't able to play because the truck was on the basketball court, and they wouldn't leave. And I guess when she got a hold of me, it had already happened. So, but I told her that she had me, what could she do about it? Because she lived in that community, and she never seen nothing like that before ever happened. So I told her I would address the council, address and bring it out, and maybe, you could kind of have them to enhance patrols and, at the parks and stuff. Because
when was this?
Well, when I looked at it, around the 1st, when I think about the 1st of August.
1st of August?
Yeah.
Mr. Rennick's notified me. I wasn't getting around it all then, and I talked to the children, and they said there was 4 trucks there. They described the colors, big 4-wheel drives, that were parked there, and they said it was some white guys, and they went down to play ball, but they wouldn't move their trucks.
Didn't anybody call the police? Nobody called the police?
I got it. He contacted
me.
She
contacted me after the
kids.
It was after the fact. It already happened.
But she didn't say she called the police.
No, she didn't.
No. But those kids know what's going on, and when they come by my house, we talk, and they said, yeah. And I just asked them, I said, did y'all have a problem out there? And they said, yeah, there was some guys parked trucks on the basketball court, and it was on that west court, that east court, next to the building, and they had them all lined up, and they wouldn't move them.
That's a bad deal.
But when he notified me, this was about a day or 2 later.
Yeah, but somebody should have called police.
Somebody should have.
Yeah, most of our kids, they got cell phones. And,
yeah, but
what?
I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I'm just saying, we need to feel that we can call the police department.
We should.
And
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, that's what should have happened.
Yeah, and somebody should have called law enforcement.
But it should have never
for what
happened.
it's worth. It shouldn't have happened, Marvin. It shouldn't have.
Okay.
But, I mean, some of my constituents call me. I'm not the police. I tell them, ask them, have you called the police? I mean, I'm not going to go around there and, you see what I'm saying? But
right,
you got people in place to do this stuff.
I understand.
And the police should have been called.
And that's why one reason why we're really in need of having a coordinator.
Well, I've asked for
Watch,
patrols
you know,
over there
and,
ever since this started.
We really need to get that crime watch, you know, in some of the areas, you know, in this area. Now, some places not active, you know, people not doing it. But like I tell them, they're not the police, you know. We're not the police, but we can inform the police, you know, of what's going on. I'm gonna talk with you. So, you know.
Thank you.
I
Did
got
you have
some- Yeah,
something?
I did. I got some constituents. Terrell, could you come up, please? Here a while back, you put some nice orange tags on
Yes.
the garbage cans and stuff, and you told us that if they didn't take them from the curb, it was going to be this, and if they do it so
Yeah.
many times, you was going to pick up the can.
Mm-hmm.
I got some constituents that's raising hell about people not pulling their garbage can
Yes, that was
back
addressed.
off the road, but are you following up with that, or?
Well, it wasn't me putting them personally. That's sanitation department's job to go out and do that. When they see a cart that hadn't been brought back or 2x4 sticking out of it, there's 10 rules on there that are in an ordinance to go by. And that's what that tag has. But just last week, I believe it was, we got with Mr. Alford, and they're supposed to start doing that again. Apparently they slacked on doing it.
All right. I mean, you saying sanitation, but you the one come up here and explain the tags.
Yes, I
when they
explained the
first went
process
out and
of it,
stuff
yes.
like that, but
But yes, that has always been a sanitation job, because I remember years ago when I lived on Avon Street, when I lived in town, I got a tag and didn't even know what it was for from Joe Gully, and he explained it to me. You've got to bring your cart back. Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
And then they quit doing it for a long time, and I'm trying to get it restarted, but you know how it is to kind of kickstart programs back. It takes a little time.
well, there's a lot of people in Ward 2, they just leave it out there and they just take their garbage out to the road and dump it in there, and they just leave it all week, but you know, getting some complaints about it, and we got something in place.
Like I said, I made sure that the remainder of the tags that I still had in my office, I had probably around 250, 500 tags, something like that. I gave them to J-Rock just into last week, said we got to get started back on this.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
Move to adjourn.
There's one and there's one. Oh, it's two? Okay. Everybody gets two. Okay.
This is a
Coming out.
I'm sad to hear that you're not bringing
I spent about a year ago, I took you
We're good. You all right?
It's got right on the other day. You've been doing it long enough.
That young man.
I think you've done an excellent job.
Coming up here. I guess, you know, sometimes you have to make an example. The thing is, if you can clear the change one time, maybe two, they're getting this stuff.
They didn't like me playing that.
They didn't, you know, and a lot of people, the problem
That's what you did. To show how the system should be utilized.
Thank you. It did mean a lot to coming from you, sir.
And I do it because they say I don't tell nobody.